χαρά μου είναι πάρα πολύ μεγάλη. Η αλήθεια είναι ότι όλα αυτά τα χρόνια έχω συναντήσει πάρα πολλούς ανθρώπους που μας έχουν τιμήσει με την παρουσία τους, αλλά η αλήθεια είναι ότι πρώτη φορά έχω απέναντί μου μια χολιγουτιανή στάρ. Και όχι μια οποιαδήποτε χολιγουτιανή στάρ, μια γυναίκα υπέροχη. Έχουμε γνωριστεί στο γάμο του Ανδρέα Γεωργίου, του αγαπημένου μας, και έχω συναντήσει έναν άνθρωπο πάρα πολύ απλό, πάρα πολύ εύθυμο, πάρα πολύ προσιτό σε όλους και είναι εδώ λοιπόν απέναντί μου. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για αυτή τη συνάντηση. Ειλικρινά είναι μεγάλη μας χαρά και μεγάλη μας τιμή.
Well, it is definitely my honor. I'm so thrilled to be here in Cyprus, such a beautiful country. So nice to meet you and be able to have a little chat.
Είναι απίστευτο το πόσο προσιτή είσαι από την πρώτη στιγμή που είχαμε μιλήσει, το πόσο εύκολο ήταν να σε προσεγγίσει κάποιος και η αλήθεια είναι ότι με ρωτούσαν στα γύρω-γύρω τραπέζια πώς είναι, μπορείς να τις μιλήσεις εύκολα, σου μιλάει και την επόμενη μέρα έχω δεχτεί πάρα πολλές ερωτήσεις για εσάς.
It's very exciting to me being here because would you say Cypriot people or
Yes.
people of Cyprus? Cypriot?
Yes.
So they're so nice and so warm and so inviting and down to earth and just makes me feel comfortable. So I can be the same, you know, and I can be myself. And I am more of a laid back person, more down to earth as well. So I feel like I fit right in.
Μια πάρα πολύ μεγάλη πορεία με τον μακροβιότερο ρόλο στην τηλεόραση της Αμερικής και ένας πάρα πολύ επιτυχημένος και αγαπημένος ρόλος όλα αυτά τα χρόνια.
It's been a very long career. I started doing commercials when I was 3 years old and did a lot of commercials, did a lot of print work. Got my first film when I was 17, did films and TV, and then I got The Bold and the Beautiful when I was 25, and it's been amazing journey. I've been on that show for 37 years, since day one, and it's been incredible. But it also allows me time to go out and do other things and go to other countries and maybe do other work, other movies in other countries, different TV campaigns, things like that.
Πώς είναι να είσαι για 37 ολόκληρα χρόνια η Μπρουκ, που όλος ο κόσμος έχει αγαπήσει και βλέπουμε τη ζωή σου μέσα από τα χρόνια να εξελίσσεται?
Well, first of all, I love to act, and I get to do that on The Bold and the Beautiful every day, or when I work, which is most days. So I enjoy that, and to be able to kind of grow up with your character is very interesting. I feel like Brooke is a part of me. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't have Brooke. It would be very strange. And it's just, it feels good to have one job for a long time. You know, it's kind of like an endurance sport. Just keep on going, keep on doing it. And as long as the stories are there, which we still have great stories after so many years, you know, from the producers and the writers and everybody that works on the show, it's just, it comes together every single day in such a great way.
I like it.
Λένε ότι πάρα πολλές φορές τα πράγματα, ειδικά για μια γυναίκα, είναι πάρα πολύ σκληρά. Πώς ήταν για εσένα όλα τα προηγούμενα χρόνια και ειδικά το ξεκίνημα σε ένα χώρο τόσο σκληρό και τόσο έντονο όπως είναι ο χώρος του Hollywood?
It's tough for anybody, I think. It's very competitive. It's very hard. I think some of it's luck. You definitely have to have talent and try to get as much experience as you can, however you can, you know, plays, even if you have to start with commercials, even modeling, anything, just to continue the process, get a good agent. It's difficult, but if you're very serious about it and you put, you know, you have your focus and your mindset and you know what you want, then nothing will steer you away, you know, and it could be difficult with problems with, you know, young girls have had problems with producers and the whole Me Too movement and all of that. And it was good that that came out because that was a big problem back then. But I never had issues, thank goodness. Maybe because I've been doing it for so long, you know.
Ο δικός σου τρόπος σκέψης πώς ήταν από την αρχή? Γιατί έχεις αναφερθεί προηγουμένως στο mindset, στον τρόπο που σκέφτεται ένας άνθρωπος. Ήσουν πάντα ένα πολύ συγκροτημένο και δυναμικό άτομο?
I didn't want to be an actress. In fact, when I would have to go do the commercials when I was a young child, I didn't like it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'd rather be home and play. But my mom took me to Mexico when I was 17, and we ended up running into people that she knew in the business, and they were shooting a movie down there. So the producer said, come and just hang out on the movie set while you guys are here. And we did, and I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with the magic, you know, and I just couldn't get enough of it. So 7 days just watching every day. I didn't care what it was. I was behind the scenes watching everything. And after that trip, I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I want to move back to Los Angeles, because for a few years we moved outside of Los Angeles. So I said, I want to move back to Los Angeles and I want to become an actress. And she just looked at me and said, okay. Just like that. We had to move 5 hours from 5 hours away. We drove down, we got an apartment, and we started. I started acting. My first film was when I was almost 18.
Πολύ ωραία.
So it just happened, kept going.
Ποιο ήταν το σημείο που σαν Κάθριν, πέρα από την επαγγελματική σου πορεία, νιώθεις ότι εσύ σαν άνθρωπος, σαν γυναίκα, σαν προσωπικότητα, ήξερες πάρα πολύ καλά που στέκεσαι, τι θέλεις και τι δεν θέλεις στη ζωή σου?
Like my decision of my profession?
No, personal.
Hard question.
I have more.
It's all a process of learning and growing, and you've got to make mistakes to be able to learn from them and then know what you want to do from there. So I believe it's all, I don't even know how, this is a very kind of complicated question because there's so much that you can talk about. But I just really, personally, I just tried to stay true to myself, to who I am, and not become somebody that I wasn't just because of what I chose to do with my life. And I think I managed to kind of do that. So I feel good about myself, I feel happy, and I don't feel like I'm another person or pretending to be another person. But so it's just, you know, hang on to your values, stay true to yourself, you learn, you grow, you evolve. You know, I've had a few marriages and kids, and you just keep learning from all of the life experiences. Some are good, some are bad, but that's life, and everybody goes through the same feelings, you know, whatever the situation may be.
Έχεις αγαπήσει τα λάθη σου ή υπάρχουν λάθη που λες θα προτιμούσα να μην τα είχα κάνει στη ζωή μου?
I don't want to say I don't believe in regret. So you can learn from your mistakes, but not feel bad or guilty or weak or, you know, not negative. Just don't let it beat you down. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes a decision and then realizes, oh, I didn't like that decision. I would have liked this better. So then you learn next time, maybe you make a different choice or decision and you go like that. But I always try to remain positive no matter what.
Μέσα από τη δική σου εμπειρία, τι είναι για σένα η αγάπη, ο έρωτας, ο γάμος?
I mean, love is very special, you know, if you find that person. I've had long relationships, but I haven't been in one forever, you know, and I'm always amazed when I meet somebody, they say they've been married for 50, 60 years.
Και εγώ το ίδιο.
What?
Me too.
Yeah, you too. It's amazing to me because maybe it's my life, maybe it's living in Los Angeles, maybe it's, you know, sometimes it's a little bit harder to maintain, or sometimes you just grow apart. But I love having a connection with somebody, you know. I love being in love. I love, you know, the romance of it all, but also just the bond, the personal bond that you have with the other person. And, you know, somebody's there, they have your back, and vice versa. And it can be very special. And you can learn a lot about yourself in a relationship as well.
Νιώθεις ότι έχεις αγαπηθεί και έχεις αγαπήσει πάρα πολύ δυνατά ή δεν νιώθεις τόσο τυχερή σε αυτό το κομμάτι της ζωής?
look around. I mean, there's so many people that you can love and get love. And I mean, even just being here, I feel so much love from everybody, you know, and that's good enough. It's like, it doesn't even have to be romantic. It's just, there's love within your family, there's love with your kids, grandkids, grandparents, friends, people you just meet on the street and, you know, have a nice, lovely exchange. There's a lot of love if people just accept it and they're there and they can also give back.
Είναι πάρα πολύ όμορφο αυτό που μας λες και νομίζω ότι δείχνει και το mindset αυτό το οποίο μας έχεις πει προηγουμένως.
Yes, I feel that way.
Tonight I'm moving like.
Θα θέλαμε να μας πεις για τα παιδιά σου.
I have 3 kids. I have 2 boys from my first marriage. I have a daughter from my second marriage. And I have 2 grandbabies. My daughter's the youngest, but she had the babies. So my grandbabies are 4 and 6, and they're adorable. I spend a lot of time with them, also helping out. You know, just they spend the night. I take them places. I take them to school, pick them up, do lots of things with them.
Είναι δύσκολο η αλήθεια να το βάλουμε στο μυαλό μας ότι μια γυναίκα που εμείς βλέπουμε, θαυμάζουμε για όλα αυτά τα οποία βλέπουμε να κάνεις επαγγελματικά, να μπούμε και λίγο στις στιγμές της καθημερινότητάς σου. Είναι δύσκολο να το κάνουμε αυτό.
Are you serious? I mean, everybody does it in a way, you know. I feel that I'm just a normal person, you know, and that's kind of how I like it. And I like to do all these things that are what you should be doing, especially if you have a family. You know, you have to stay engaged and you have to help out. You have to be there and do all those day-to-day things, you know.
Πώς ήσουν σαν μαμά στο μεγάλωμα των παιδιών σου?
I was always a very loving mother. I might have had a little more difficulty with the discipline. And I was pretty good with the routine, but I loved my kids more than I would discipline them. And then so I had to learn I needed both, you know. And just very patient, I think, very fun, and just very loving.
Με τα εγγόνια, με τα εγγονάκια σας?
Oh, the grandchildren. Okay, so I did learn from raising my children that I had to be a little more firm. So with the grandchildren, I'm a little more firm with them. I'm like just at least setting boundaries and sticking to them, you know, so that they always know what to expect.
Can you remember when the last time was you felt safe in the dark?
Πώς είναι η καθημερινότητά σου? Θα θέλαμε να μοιραστείς μαζί μας μια κανονική σου μέρα.
Well, it depends on my schedule. So if I work on the show, I can get up anywhere between 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and then I go to work depending on when my call time is. So then I work, and then I can leave. Since it's a daily show, it's early sometimes, but sometimes we get out really early. So if I'm out early, then I can go do things with the kids or the grandkids. That's why I've always been able to kind of be a hands-on mom, because I would take them to school, even my kids. Oops. I would take them to school, I'd drop them off, I'd pick them up, I'd take them to their activities, but I'd fit the work in there too. But I was able to do that. Now I'm doing that a little more with the grandkids, and also on my days off or after work, I will go ride my horse, because I train for 50-mile races.
Πολύ ωραία.
Yeah. I've been riding horses my whole life, and so I do endurance racing on my Arabian. And I go to the gym. I love to stay in shape. I think that's important to be healthy, stay fit. And I have to find, I'm kind of a go, go, go person. I never stop. So I have to try to force myself to calm down and just, you need to relax today, or maybe take a nap. I can't take naps, but sometimes I try. And sometimes I just realize I have to, or take a spa day or something. Just kind of chill.
Πώς προσέχεις τον εαυτό σου πέρα από την γυμναστική? Γιατί δεν ξέρω αν έχεις αυτή την αγωνία του μεγαλώνοντας, το πώς θα μεγαλώσουμε, του πώς θα φαινόμαστε.
It's definitely something you have to work at. And I've been like that my whole life. Like I've always worked out, I've always done sports, always ate healthy.
Πάντα όμορφη.
That's very sweet. My parents were also very healthy and just gorgeous people, and so they raised me to know how to take care of myself and be healthy. So I just always try to eat right, definitely work out, because the older you get, it's harder, so you never want to stop. You keep going. I lift weights now because that builds bone, helps with your bone when you get older. So as you age, there's different things to do and maybe change or eat something a little differently, or make sure you get your vitamins in your food, but then also the workouts you do. I can't do as much cardio as I used to because that kind of tears your body down. So I lift weights and do a little bit of cardio, like 3-mile run here and there.
Πολύ ωραία. Τώρα θέλουμε να μας πεις πώς έχει γίνει αυτή η συνεργασία με τον Ανδρέα Γεωργίου και τον Κούλη Νικολάου. Πώς έχει γίνει αυτό το πάντρεμα από τη μία άκρη της γης στην άλλη και σας έχουμε δει σε αυτή την υπέροχη συνεργασία.
Okay, I usually say I hate Instagram just because it's like another job. But for these reasons, I love Instagram because Andreas reached out to me on Instagram and said something like, I responded, I'm like, who is this person? Because he left a direct message, a DM in my messages. So I saw it and I wrote back, and he said he was interested in me coming over to do, it was then Octo Lexus, which isn't on the air anymore. But so we had a few conversations, and right away I liked him. I felt like I trusted him. I felt like I knew him. I felt like we were old friends. Like, it was just so natural. And just talking about the business and acting, and I was so impressed with everything he did. And then I watched some of the shows, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. He writes, directs, acts, and the show looks amazing. And so I said, yes, of course, I'm gonna come. I would love to be on your show. So I came over, I did like, I want to say it was something like 15 episodes, 10 or 15 or something within 5 days. I just did all my scenes, and then they put them in the different shows through the season, I guess. And I had the best time, the best time.
Και από τότε έχετε κρατήσει αυτή την σχέση και σας βλέπουμε και τόσα χρόνια μετά μαζί, που ήρθες και στο γάμο του και ήταν μια πάρα πολύ όμορφη στιγμή.
Yes, we never stopped talking. He came to America. He was actually, we opened up a store, a leather store from Italy in Beverly Hills. He was there with coolies and friends and family of them. They came and helped us unload all our stuff when we moved into the store.
Wow.
They helped unload all the benches, the wood things, the decorations, the clothes, and helped us set up till like 2 in the morning or something crazy. And it was so much fun and so sweet. And also, then he also came over and did The Bold and the Beautiful, playing a doctor. I don't know if you know that.
Όχι, δεν το ήξερα η αλήθεια.
Yeah, he came and did some shows with us. It was a lot of fun. And then he invited me to, and then we would always talk on Instagram. And then he invited, and also Coolies also. And then Coolies came last week or 2 weeks ago to America, to Los Angeles. And I met up with him and his family, Claire and the kids. And he convinced me to come to the wedding. Because Andreas sent me the invitation. I'm like, I think I could maybe come. And then Coolies, when he came to Los Angeles, he definitely convinced me to come.
Είναι και σαρωτικός ο Κούλης μας, η αλήθεια. Είναι...
I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no.
Μπορώ να φανταστώ.
Yeah, he's so, you know, he's such a loving human being. And you just want to do and be a part of anything that he's doing. And of course, you know, when he's asking me also to please come, and Claire as well, I said, yes, of course. I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'll make it happen.
Τώρα, επιστρέφοντας στην Αμερική, τι περιλαμβάνει το πρόγραμμά σου?
So, okay. So from here, I go to the Venice Film Festival, and I have to do some red carpet events. I have to do some party events, like Cartier party. You know, they have a lot of big parties this week. I have to do some photo shoots and maybe some meetings. So I have maybe 3 or 4 days to get all that done Then I go back to Los Angeles and I shoot 9 episodes next week.
Α, τόσο καλά, τόσο λίγα πράγματα μέσα σε μια εβδομάδα.
Just a few, just a little bit. That's what I mean when I say I tend to do too much. That's why sometimes I have to slow down and, okay, take a rest. Yeah.
Τι θα ήθελες να έρθει στη ζωή σου?
Well, I want to continue acting, of course. I love acting. Continue on the show, beautiful, and for as long as that may go, I don't know. But also do other things. I love doing other acting jobs. I'm producing a film right now to hopefully shoot next May, somewhere between May and September.
Με τι έχει να κάνει?
I don't like talking about it, so it's more, you know, because it's kind of bad luck. But yes, it's in the works, and it would shoot in Italy. But also, I may have a few meetings here with some people to talk about shooting some things here.
Πολύ ωραία.
Because I hear it's wonderful to shoot films here. So thinking about that as well.
Είχες αναφερθεί προηγουμένως σε ένα κατάστημα που ήρθε και ο Ανδρέας και βοήθησε στην μετακόμιση. Είναι ένα κατάστημα, είναι κάτι το οποίο δραστηριοποιείσαι και σε αυτό το κομμάτι?
I like having my hands in different, you know, buckets and different things. So I have always been interested in clothing because my mom used to have clothing stores. She still has one that she works in New Mexico. But I grew up in her clothing stores, you know, just helping her, and she would start me working at a young age, and I would sell clothes to people and dress them, and I always liked that. Plus, I grew up in that era, the hippie era, and my mom was sort of a hippie. I don't know if you understand hippie, but you know, in the 60s, 70s, and I was a very young child, but I loved all the flowing fabrics and the big billowy, you know, blouses and skirts and with the patterns. And so I started doing my own line, Katherine Kelly Lang caftans.
Ah, πολύ ωραία.
So it's like some dresses, some caftans, some beach cover-ups, blouses, things like that. And I have that. And I also go to Australia and sell on the Home Shopping Network over there. But I also have my own website. And then the clothing also for the store was just partnering with somebody in Italy and bringing his brand over. We opened up a store in Beverly Hills and selling his items.
Υπέροχα. Άρα μπορεί κάποιος διαδικτυακά να βρει τη δική σου σειρά με τα καφτάνια και όλα αυτά τα οποία δημιουργείς.
Yes.
Πολύ ωραία.
It's my name, Katherine Kelly Lang, and then caftans, but with a K.
Υπέροχα. Αυτό θα το βρούμε με το K στο τέλος.
Yeah.
Έχεις αδέρφια, πώς ήταν το μεγάλωμά σου, πώς ήταν η σχέση σου με τους γονείς σου?
My parents split when we were young, like 4, 5, a brother and a sister. My brother has passed, but I still have my sister. So we're about a year apart. And it was close family, but it was hard because it was the divorce and, you know, my parents didn't get along. And so we always kind of felt the, you know, pull and tug between the parents. And the parents were very different. My mom was very accepting, a lot of love, unconditional love, no matter what. She was always there, very supportive and very positive. My father was very strict, very religious, too much, just too much. So they're opposite. So I understood both sides, but so I fell somewhere in the middle. More towards my mom's side. But,
ναι. Φαντάζομαι ότι θα ήταν δύσκολο σαν παιδί να νιώθεις ότι είσαι στη μέση δύο ανθρώπων που αγαπάς πάρα πολύ.
Yeah, it happens a lot to a lot of people.
Αυτό σου είχε δημιουργήσει εσένα μια αγωνία για το πώς θα είσαι εσύ σαν παντρεμένη με οικογένεια μετά μεγαλώνοντας, ή δεν το είχες στο μυαλό σου?
Yes, I think that's why I wasn't so much of a disciplinarian, because I didn't appreciate that from my father. I understand having boundaries, but there's a way to do it still with love. And I didn't get that from my dad. It was just, you know, just too strict with no feelings for, and then all the kids would be lumped together, you know. If one got in trouble, they all got in trouble, that kind of thing.
Ναι,
So it was never, it just didn't seem fair to me.
ποια ήταν η πιο όχι όμορφη, θα πω, στιγμή στη ζωή σου που αντιμετώπισες?
I don't really talk about not so beautiful moments because I don't like to bring them up. But there's many. I mean, in my life, I'm sure there's been many. My second marriage was a challenge, and I was in that marriage for 17 years. And I feel now that I wish I had left sooner because I stayed with him thinking it was better for the kids, when in the long run it was worse for the kids. So, you know, that's one thing. I had a lot of hard times during that marriage.
Είναι πάρα πολλοί άνθρωποι που ενδεχομένως και αυτή την ώρα που μας βλέπουν, που μας παρακολουθούν, που μπορεί να θέλουν να φύγουν από ένα γάμο, αλλά να μένουν για τα παιδιά.
I mean, it's hard for me to say for, you know, to anybody in particular. I don't know their situation, but if it's affecting the kids in such a bad way, to me, just because I did go through it, and I saw the damage that was done, and there's no really reversing it. Now they have to figure it out. You know, now it's on their shoulders to figure out how to go from there. But it's hard to know when you're going through it.
Ναι.
You know, because you're always saying, is this right, or would this be? And every situation is so different that it's hard to say.
Υπήρχε στιγμή που μια γυναίκα που είναι όμορφη, επιτυχημένη, δυναμική, ένιωσες ποτέ ότι δεν είχες ενδεχομένως τη δύναμη να πάρεις αποφάσεις ή να πάρεις τη ζωή σου στα χέρια σου για κάτι τόσο σημαντικό για σένα?
Well, everybody, I mean, decisions are difficult. For me, they are anyway, because I'm kind of a procrastinator. And I think I do that because if I'm not sure about something, absolutely sure, I'll just kind of sit and not, you know, wait for something to happen. But that's the problem. Then life will take over and do it for you. And do you want that? So you have to kind of teach yourself to learn how to make a decision, and hopefully the better decision, so that you have a nice life and you're happy. But like I said, none of it's bad. None of it should be negative, because this is how you learn. People can't become a victim and say, oh my God, my poor life. You know, yes, there's some people that have more struggles, more difficulties than the others, but still, no matter who you are, I think everybody goes through the same kinds of emotions, no matter what. And everybody has different difficulties, depending on how they were brought up and their personality and everything else.
Τι ερωτεύεσαι και τι εκτιμάς σε έναν άντρα?
I love stability. I love affection. I love the feeling that somebody is there for me all the time, or when I need them, they're there, they have my back. I love honesty. I love just being real, you know, and I love having a best friend. You know, to me, a man also needs to be a best friend, you know. And I love also just the bond, the romance of it. But really just, I think best friend is really sticking out to me right now, because that's where it starts. If you can't be friends with who you're with, then what's the point? You know, and I think also being compatible. You have to be compatible in a way. It makes it easier to live with somebody.
Θέλω να μας πεις εσύ τι θέλεις να ζήσεις, τι εύχεσαι, τι είναι αυτό που θέλεις έτσι να έρθει μέσα στα επόμενα χρόνια.
I want to do more. I always want to do more. I want to do more acting, maybe some other TV shows, movies. I want to do more producing. I want to do more creative things. And I think that COVID really kind of put a damper on things. It stopped things, and I was starting to do all that before, like producing this film. So now 7 years later, I'm starting it again. So it just kind of put a halt for 4 years, and now I'm ready to go do some other things. But mostly, yeah, in the business with the acting and also the producing.
Θέλω να σε ευχαριστήσω πάρα πολύ. Θέλω να σου πω ότι δηλώνω εντυπωσιασμένη από την πρώτη στιγμή που σε έχω γνωρίσει. Τίποτα δεν είναι τυχαίο στις ζωές των ανθρώπων. Και εσύ φαίνεσαι ότι είσαι ένας άνθρωπος που είσαι πλημμυρισμένη από αγάπη, γιατί δίνεις απλόχερα αγάπη. Και θέλω να σε ευχαριστήσω ειλικρινά πάρα πολύ για το χρόνο που μας χάρισες.
So sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your time. I want to thank you for your time, really. It's a great honor for me.
It was a great honor for me.